A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Jerry of the Circus. Now for Jerry of the Circus.
Here we are, Mr. Randall. Not a bad building for a police station.
No.
Here you are, driver.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Coming, Mr. Randall?
Of course. Well, I'm not looking forward to this job. Certainly hate to have to spend half my time in town with the police just because a couple of men with a circus get into trouble.
Or run away from it.
You're right this time, Jason. Well, here we go. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm Sam Randall of Randall Brothers Circus. I phoned Captain Reed that I'd be in this morning.
Oh, yes, sir. He's expecting you. Right this way, please.
Good. Come along, Jason.
Well, it's certainly nice not to be kept waiting. I thought we'd never get through all that red tape at the hospital this morning.
I wouldn't have minded that if we'd accomplished anything. But with Decker still unconscious, it means we'll have to go through the whole thing again tomorrow.
At least we've identified him.
Not so easy to do with all those bandages on his face at that.
Poor devil. He's certainly badly cut up. It's a wonder he's alive at all.
They say the train is usually going about 60 miles an hour in that run.
Now, just down this corridor, gentlemen. His clothes certainly a mess. Torn and bloody and rolled in cinders.
Lucky for him that hand car came along so soon. He'd never have lived to
landed in jail?
Yeah.
Here we are, Mr. Randall. Captain Reed, Mr. Randall to see you.
Good morning. Good morning, Randall. Glad to see you.
Yeah. This is Jason, Captain, the star of our show.
I'm looking forward to your act.
Well, thank you.
Sit down and make yourselves comfortable. All right, Riley. Now then, you've been to the hospital?
Yes, just before coming here. It's Decker, all right.
Good. That's one of them located.
Any developments yet on Lorenz?
I'm sorry to say no, not a glimpse of it.
Any danger of his escaping altogether?
There's always a chance. However, we're getting excellent cooperation all along the line. The reports are coming in regularly, and I firmly believe we'll catch up with Lorenz.
Do the publicity pictures help much in tracking him down?
Of course, some. But there are so many tricks in changing the general appearance that just a picture is more often misleading than helpful.
He doesn't fit into any of your rogues gallery?
Of course, we haven't any fingerprints to check, but he looks like a man that got into trouble on the West Coast several years ago. That man got away.
So they've never caught up with him?
Not that I know of. At the time, he was wanted for a couple of bank robberies. The police thought he resembled an ex-convict by the name of Pietro Lenzo.
So he'd served time.
For about 5 years.
I can see you've been doing quite a lot of work in this case, Captain.
We surely have.
What a job. Checking with other states, looking up old records.
It's tedious, but it's necessary. Tracking down criminals is a man-sized job these days.
Especially in this country, where you can go from state to state without any checking up processes.
And I think I've got my hands full taking care of one circus.
I can imagine you do have your hands full, Randall.
Don't let him fool you, Captain. He's got that circus so well organized that it would run without him.
I know that. I've had dealings with Sam Randall for years. Even when circuses were in disrepute, Randall used to keep his people in order.
Well, thank you, Captain. I used to try hard enough. It wasn't easy.
I know. Some towns wouldn't even allow circuses to play on account of the trouble they usually caused with the townspeople.
One thing I will say is, when I once got into town and played an engagement, they always let me come back.
He must have had quite a reputation in those days, Mr. Randall.
He did. Randall's Circus was known from coast to coast. It wasn't so big as it is today, but it always offered the finest talent and a nice assortment of animals.
Yeah, those were the good old days, but they were fighting days.
Fighting?
Yeah, we had to fight with the authorities to let us play. We had to fight off all the hangers-on that were used to following any circus or carnival that passed through the towns. Then we had to keep from letting the town rowdies fight us.
Hey, we're the worst. A circus in town meant just one thing to all the bums and beggars and good-for-nothings.
An opportunity to see the show for nothing, eh? If they could get by with it.
And a chance for a fight if anyone tried to stop them. What a life.
Yeah, I'm glad that's all over with. Nowadays, we fill our tents with children and mothers and nurses. As for the fathers, they're our best customers.
If the rest of the men are anything like me, they just never have had enough circus, even when they were boys.
I'm sorry, Mr. Randall, but it's getting late.
Oh, I should say it is. I tell you, Captain, when I start harking back to the old days, I never know when to stop. Come over and catch our show. Hear a couple of passes.
Thank you, sir. I certainly will.
And drop by my office afterwards, and we can have plenty of time to hash over the old days.
I'll do that. And now about this Lorenz.
Oh, yeah. I almost forgot why I came. You'll let me know immediately if any developments, won't you?
The slightest bit of news, and you'll be informed.
Now, about Decker, what's the procedure there?
I take it he's too badly hurt to be moved yet.
Well, the doctor says it'll mean death to move him for some time.
In that case, we'll leave him there until they say he can be moved to the hospital in the jail.
He hasn't regained consciousness yet. Doctor thinks he'll be conscious by morning, so I'm going back again tomorrow.
Good. And in the meantime, you'll hear from me if anything comes up.
Well, thank you, Captain. Well, goodbye, and don't forget to come and see our show.
I wouldn't miss it for anything. Goodbye, gentlemen.
Goodbye,
Captain.
Well, he's a pleasant fellow, isn't he?
Yes, and very competent. I'm willing to bet Captain Reed will get Lorenz, and soon, too.
So you really saw Decker, Jason?
Just for a minute.
How'd he look?
Oh, you couldn't see much of him. All bandages.
How awful. Imagine falling off a train right on the tracks. I don't see how he's still alive.
Well, the doctor can't understand it either. They had to shave off his beard.
They did?
His whole head was pretty badly messed up. That was the only way they could treat the wounds.
Gee, and there's no sign of Lorenz at all, huh?
Not one.
I wish Bunce was through. I know he'll want to hear all about everything. You know, he and I kind of like Decker.
Yeah, I know you did. As a matter of fact, I'm mighty surprised he should be teamed up with a man like Lorenz. Oh, my goodness, look who's here.
Hello, you. Oh, you're through already, huh? Gee, you needn't make so much noise about it, Rags. Where's Bunce? Where's that partner of yours, huh?
Here I am. Oh, what a house. I tell you, it's a pleasure to play before a crowd like that.
They're certainly jammed in there this afternoon.
Mostly kids, too, aren't they?
Kids make the best audience. I like matinees, especially if they're packed in like today.
What you so excited about, Rags?
Well, didn't he tell you?
He's certainly trying hard enough, Bill.
It looks to me, Jerry, as if you can't understand Rags very well.
Oh, I can, too.
Oh, don't let him kid you, Jerry. Didn't you see what he did in the walk around just now?
No, I guess I was talking to Jason.
Well, you sure have missed it. He jumped up and pretended to bite me in the seat of the pants. And he held on for dear life.
Oh, he did.
He sure did. And I kept pretending to brush him off. Well, we must have run halfway up one side with him hanging on by his teeth.
Why, Rags, you're...
That's not all. When I got him off, he ran away from me. I chased after him as if my life depended on it. And he caught up with that Rosenback that carries the Gilded Lady.
Yeah, I know.
And Rags jumped clean over her.
Over the Gilded Lady?
Right across her lap and scared her almost to death.
It's a wonder she didn't fall off.
Well, she nearly did. But the crowd roared. Well, didn't you hear him?
Seems to me I did kind of notice it, but Jason was telling me about Decker and...
How is he, Jason?
Well, you can't tell yet. He was still unconscious this morning.
Bunce.
Yes, sir.
You know, I wish we could see Decker.
Well, I guess we can all right, but...
It must be awful to have such a terrible accident and then come to and not find any friends or anything around.
Well, I guess you're right at that, Jerry.
I know it's awful as taking all the money and hitting Bennett on the head.
And trying to put the blame on me.
I know, but still, I'd just like to see him.
Well, if you feel that way about it, Jerry, I think maybe we'd better see him.
Could we go now before dinner?
Well, Well, sure, Jerry. I guess we can make it if we hurry. I'll change in a jiffy, and we'll take the trolley and get right down there.
Gee, you will? Thanks, Bumps.
Well, seeing as I've been in town all morning, I think I'll head for a nice walk before dinner. See you later.
Yeah, and thanks for telling me about things.
And don't be late for dinner, Jersey.
Don't you be late. Bye.
Gee, Bumps, you're swell to take me.
Oh, that's all right. I'd kind of like to see him myself.
Gee, everything's so bright and quiet here.
It has to be. You see, we take care of sick people. They must never be upset if we can help it.
And, of course, if everything is white, it means things have to be kept clean. Am I right, nurse?
That's it. Here we are. This is his room. Now, be quiet.
Can't we talk?
Yes, but not loud.
I thought you said he's still unconscious.
Well, he is. But he may come out of it any minute, or it may take a day or so. When he begins to regain consciousness, everything must be quiet.
So he won't get excited and get worse, huh?
Exactly.
Oh, the poor devil.
See, you can't recognize him with all those bandages on and no beard.
Must have been a terrific shock to his nervous system.
Oh, it'll take him a long time to get completely over it, if he ever does.
Oh, Miss Ellison.
Yes, Doctor. You ready to change the bandages?
Yes. These people?
We're friends of the injured man, Doctor.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, you'll have to excuse me while I...
Gee, Doctor, couldn't we please watch? We'll be quiet.
Well...
Please, we'll be good.
Now, maybe it's against the rules. You shouldn't ask.
No. It's all right if the boy wants to. The patient is still unconscious. It won't upset him.
Gee, thanks. This is like watching an operation, isn't it?
A little. Not quite so strenuous. Oh, here, nurse. If you'll help me with these bandages.
Yes, Doctor.
Good. I'll cut it here.
My, don't they work fast, Bumps?
Yeah, they don't waste a movement. Oh, poor man.
Look how he's bruised and cut up. Oh, Bumps.
You want to go out, son?
No, I'll watch.
Too much for you, son?
No. Gosh, though, I hate to see anybody hurt that much. Bumps.
What is it, Jerry?
Look.
Well, where?
At Decker. Look, can't you see?
Well, what do you mean, son? What are you talking about?
Decker, he... Wait a minute.
Well, what have you got there?
This picture. See? The one of Uncle Dan that Patsy's father sent. I've been carrying it in my inside pocket, see?
Oh, yes, but I don't know why you're so excited.
But, Bumps, he's just like my uncle.
What? You mean?
Decker looks exactly like my Uncle Dan now that they've cut off his beard. Can't you see it?
Here, let me have another look. Well, Jerry, I do believe you're right. Oh, no, this is silly. He can't.
He is my uncle. I know he is.
Not so loud, son.
But he's my uncle.
Yeah, take the boy outside.
Never mind, Doctor. I'll take him. I'm sorry this happened. You can see the boy's upset.
It's all right. No harm done.
But I'll see you before I go, Doctor. Now, come along.
I can't believe it. I just can't believe it.
No, take it easy, sir.
But why should he use another name? Why shouldn't he recognize me when I joined the circus? He did act kind of funny when he heard my name, but not as if he knew me.
You must get hold of yourself, Jerry.
But my own uncle, a criminal. Oh, Bumps, I can't believe it. Something's wrong someplace.
Right here, you must be quiet. Now, listen, son. We'll come back here tomorrow as soon as Decker regains consciousness, huh? And if he's your uncle, we'll find out what it's all about.
gentlemen, last night Jack, Mary, Phil, and Dennis went to a neighborhood theater to see a special showing of Danny Kaye's new picture, The Kid from Brooklyn. So let's go back and pick them up as they leave the theater.
Oh, gee, that was a wonderful picture, wasn't it, fellas?
Yeah, that Danny Kaye's a panic. He's really clever.
You said it, Phil. He has that audience in stitches.
Yeah, it's me. That guy's one of the funniest comedians in show business.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing.
I can't figure you out, Jackson. Every time another comedian gets laughs, it burns you up.
I'm not burned up.
Well, the least you could do is say you liked it.
I liked it. We came to see the picture. We saw it. Now let's forget it.
Oh, for heaven's sake, Jack. Every time you see somebody else in the movies, you get mad.
I do not.
You do, too. You even got mad at that 74-year-old man who married a 16-year-old girl, and he was only in the newsreel.
Well, he didn't have to look so smug. Now, let's forget it.
Oh, come on, Jackson. Snap out of it.
Bill, there's nothing to snap out of, believe me. If Danny Kaye's picture was good, I'd be the first one to say so. As a matter of fact, just last week, Mary and I went to the movies, and when we came out, I raved about it.
That was your own picture. And you were mad halfway through that until you put on your glasses and found out it was you.
Dennis, did you think Danny Kaye was funny?
I don't know. I could hardly hear him with all those peanuts. Cracking.
Who was eating peanuts?
I was.
Well, you didn't miss anything, Dennis. What a title for a picture. The Kid from Brooklyn.
Look, Jackson, I remember last year when you and I went to see Danny's other picture, Wonder Man. You didn't like that either.
Wonder Man? Of course I didn't like it. The plot was ridiculous. Imagine expecting people to believe that a man can die and a ghost can come back and talk to his twin brother.
Jack, if you're going to pick stories apart, what about the picture you made called The Meanest Man in the World?
Well, at least in that picture, I didn't die.
You did the night I saw it, Pat.
Don't change the subject. We're talking about Danny Kaye. Those specialty numbers on his radio program. Oh, brother.
What do you mean, oh, brother? I like the way he sings. A git-got-diddle and a git-got-stan, a dit-got-diddle and a dit-got-stan.
Some talent. A git-got-diddle and a git-got-tan, a dit-got-diddle and a dit-got-tan. On my program, I've got two guys that do that and sell tobacco at the same time. And he thinks he's got something new. Wonder Man, what a plot. Imagine a ghost coming in. Why don't you watch where you're going? You taxi drivers think you own the whole street. I got a good mind to...
Jack, calm down, for heaven's sake. Don't pick a fight with the taxi driver.
Well, all right. Okay, driver, get going.
Yes, sir.
They watch where they're driving.
Well, I'm going to leave you here, Jackson.
Me too.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh, by the way, Jackson, did you hear what Hedda Hopper said about me on a radio program last Monday night?
Yes, Phil, I heard it.
Yeah, she said I had charm, talent, personality.
She said Alice had charm, talent, and personality.
Community property, Father. Community property.
Phil, go home, will you?
Okay. So long, Jackson.
So long.
I'll walk as far as the next corner with you, Mr. Benny.
All right, kid, come on. You know, Dennis, I hate to be critical of other people's pictures, but I was certainly disappointed in Danny Kaye's.
Well, the people in the audience were sure laughing.
I know, but you can't always go by. Dennis, stop jumping over the fireplace. You can't always go by an audience reaction. Now, Danny Kaye had nerve enough to make another picture after Wonder Man. What a fantastic plot that was. Imagine a ghost coming back to this world.
Well, you were a ghost, and you came back, and the horn blows at midnight.
Well, at midnight, it's possible. When did you see my picture, kid?
I saw it about 5 years ago.
5 years ago? I only made it 2 years ago.
I didn't even like it then.
What are you talking about? In the first place, Dennis, stop jumping over fire plugs. You act just like a kid. Why don't you grow up? Look at Shirley Temple. Look at Freddie Bartholomew. Now, come on, walk like a man. Well, here's where I have to leave you, Mr. Benny. See you tomorrow at rehearsal. Oh, you forgot your line. Okay, well, good night.
Ooh.
That's funny. Dennis made it. I guess this is the bigger hydrant.
Can I help you up, Mr. Milan?
I'm not Mr. Milan. I can get up myself. Da-da-dee-da-dum, da-dee-da-dum, da-dum, dum-dee-da-da-dum, da-dum, da-dee.
Hey, Jack.
Huh?
It's me, Jack, Danny Kaye.
Oh, Danny! Gosh, Danny, this is a coincidence running into you. I just saw that special showing of your new picture.
Oh, you did, Jack? How'd you like it?
Danny, I thought it was the greatest thing I ever saw in my life. You were sensational in it.
I was?
Danny, believe me, I haven't enjoyed anything that much in years. My side still hurts from laughing.
That's funny.
What's funny?
Well, I just ran into Dennis Day, and he said you thought it was lousy.
Oh, Dennis Day. Where'd you see him?
I caught him in midair over a fire plug.
And Dennis told you that I said it was lousy?
Yeah.
Certainly, it's amazing what kids will repeat. I mean, make out. Look, Danny, what he probably heard me say was that even though I thought this picture, The Kid from Brooklyn, was terrific, it still wasn't quite as sensational as your last picture, Wonder Man.
He told me you thought Wonder Man stunk, too.
Well, tell me, Danny, have you made any other pictures?
Yes, Up in Arms, and that's your last chance.
Well, look, Danny, you know Dennis is a silly kid and doesn't know what he's talking about. Now, Mary and Phil were with me, and if you want to know what I thought...
I ran into them, too.
Well, Danny, they were only kidding. Your new picture is a riot. See, I thought it was funnier than Random Harvest.
Wait a minute, Jack. Random Harvest wasn't funny.
That's what I mean, Danny. In fact, you have so much talent that
Bud.
Huh?
Can you just tell me what a First National Bank is?
The First National Bank?
Yeah.
You go down to the next corner, and it's 1 block over.
Thanks, Bud.
You're welcome. I wonder what he wants at a bank this time of night.
I don't know. He must be a doctor with that black satchel.
Yeah. I thought I recognized him, but I couldn't tell with that mask over his face. Oh, well.
What were we talking about, Jack? Me or you?
Let's see. Oh, yes. Now, Danny, don't let this go to your head, but you've got so much talent that you and I ought to team up and make a picture together. Why, you and I can have comedy all sewed up. You and I can be the biggest thing in pictures. I can see our names in lights right now. I and you.
What happened to you and I?
That is not important now. The main thing is that Kay and Benny would be the greatest team in show business.
What about Crosby and Hope?
Those golfers? I mean, what would they be without Dorothy Lamour?
You know, say, come to think of it, Jack, you're right. They started to make a picture without her, but Crosby looked so bad in it, so wrong.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, and Paramount warned them, too. If they tried that trick again, their next picture would be The Road to Warner Brothers.
I know what you mean. I made that trip myself. In fact, Paramount made the San Fernando Valley my home. They didn't even, they don't even give you a bus ticket. But anyway, Danny. I wonder what that explosion was.
It's the First National Bank.
How do you know?
The night watchman just flew by.
Oh, yes. Anyway, Danny, if you and I could...
Hey, Bud.
Huh?
Where's the second national?
Go straight down to the next corner, and then 3 blocks to your left.
Thanks.
He must be a stranger in town, isn't he? Anyway, Danny, as I said before, I'm convinced that you and I ought to make a picture together.
Oh, I think you're right, Jack. And you know what? I've got a wonderful song that'll fit right into it. It's called Concerto for Tongue and Orchestra.
Concerto for tongue and orchestra?
Yeah. Yeah, would you like to hear it?
Right out here on the street?
Sure, that's why I carry this phonograph. I never know when somebody's going to ask me to sing.
Oh, well, yes, go ahead, Danny. Let's have it.
All right. Don't go away, Jack. French horn. Tim. La ram pam 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 pam.
Well, I'm sure it'll be a big hit for you.
Yeah, well, thanks, Jack. Look, I've got to run along now. I'll see you later.
Okay, so long, Danny.
So long. Oh, Jack, before I leave, since you just saw my new picture, as a matter of professional courtesy, I think it's only fair that you shouldn't have to pay. So I'd like to return the price you paid for admission.
Oh, no. No, Danny, I wouldn't think of it.
Oh, but Jack, I insist.
No, there's no use talking, Danny. I don't want to. I went to see your picture. Nobody forced me. And it was well worth the money, which, including the tax, came to 65 cents. Sorry, I let it slip.
Well, I'm glad you did, Jack. And here's your money, 65 cents.
Thanks. And Danny, I know that you saw my last picture, so I'm going to return the price you paid for admission.
Oh, you don't have to do that, Jack. The manager already did.
Earth, walk around and talk almost like a human being.
What about Fred Allen?
A ghost looks that bad? Well, thanks, kid. Now we're really partners. So long, Danny.
So long, Jack.
So long. No, darn it. Door's locked. I forgot my key. Rochester, open the door.
Coming, boss. I'll have to hang up now, honey. Goodbye, honey. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye.
Rochester, open the door.
Sorry, boss. I was busy on the phone.
I heard you. Who were you talking to?
The milkman.
The milkman. Rochester, do you expect me to believe you were blowing kisses to the milkman?
Why do you think we've been getting butter lately? Say, boss, how was Danny Kaye's picture?
Oh, it was all right. Much better than his other one. You know, that Wonder Man? What a picture, Wonder Man. Who believes in ghosts?
Who believes in which?
Ghosts. You don't believe in ghosts, do you?
Not exactly, but when I shake hands with somebody and say, give me a little skin, I want to feel it.
Rochester, that's not what I'm talking about. You're not afraid of ghosts, are you?
I'm afraid of anything that's overdrawn at the blood bank.
Oh, that's being childish.
Maybe so, boss, but that's one of my my idiosyncrasies. Well, if you don't need me anymore, I think I'll go to bed.
Go ahead, Rochester. I'm going to the library to relax for a while. Is the phonograph in there?
Yes, boss.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Hello, Polly.
Hello.
Now, let's see. Where's that record that I always like to play? Oh, here it is. Can't you hear me calling Caroline?
Can't you hear me calling Caroline?
It's all American.
Ah, yes, Caroline. Where they grow the finer, the lighter, the naturally milder tobacco.
So beautiful.
Yes, Caroline. Remember that day in the woods when I carved that heart in the tree and put in the initials LS loves MFT?
How romantic.
And from that day on, we knew that LSMFT stood for Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. So round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy 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 on the draw.
That's better.
So smoke that smoke of fine tobacco, Lucky Strike.
What a wonderful record. I wish I had a girl here so I could dance to it. Well, I think I'll...
Free and easy and easy and easy and easy
Wow.
and on the draw.
Now go to sleep, Polly. It's getting late. I think I'll read for a while before I go to bed. Let's see. What books have I got here? Here's one. I Stand Condemned. Oh, I read that a few weeks ago. About the man who went to the electric chair and he had 3 lovely children. Apple, Pan, and Dowdy. Let's see, what else is there here? Here's one. Old Ghost Tales. Silly. Old Ghost Tales. Now, let's see what it says. Note. For those who do not believe in ghosts, this book is respectfully dedicated in the hope that the authenticated evidence contained within these pages will dispel all doubts on the subject.
On the subject.
Quiet, Polly. As the last dying gasp leaves the body, the spirit is released into the cosmic atmosphere. This ectoplasm, when returning to its terrestrial habitat, often takes the form of an apparition clothed in white...
Rochester! I'm just changing the bed sheet.
Well, you don't have to wear it over your head. Now go to bed.
Okay, good night, boss.
Good night. It was in 1887, on the night of January 4th, in the old McPherson mansion, when the secret of the returning squire first came to... Oh, I don't know why I'm reading this anyway. There's no such thing as a ghost.
I wouldn't be too sure of that, Benny.
Well, I know what What? Who am I talking to? Who are you?
I'm you.
Me?
Yes. I'm your ghost. The ghost of Jack Benny.
But I'm not dead yet.
That's all right. I can wait.
You can... Oh, what's the matter with me? First thing I know, I'll be talking to myself. Serves me right for even reading them. But then, let's see. I wonder if there is anything to this story. The McPherson mansion had been vacant for 15 years, when suddenly one night a light appeared in the attic. That was the beginning of... Who's that?
Hello, Jackson.
Who are you?
I'm the ghost of Diamond Jim Brady.
Diamond Jim Brady?
Yes, Jackson, I made something out of life. I ate well and drank well. I was surrounded by beautiful women. Nightclubs and cabarets threw open their doors to me because I always picked up every check in the house. I had fun.
Is that fun?
You don't understand that, do you, Jackson?
Well, let me tell you something, Jim Brady. If you didn't stuff yourself with that rich food, you might be alive today like I am.
I'd rather be a ghost like I am. Get wise to yourself, Jackson. Money is made to spend, so spend it. Spend.
I should have him in my audience. Maybe he's right. Maybe I ought to... Oh, no, I don't want to start inflation. But then, what's the matter with me? I don't believe in ghosts anyway. This is all in my mind. Imagine a ghost. I think I'll go upstairs. Wait a minute. That sounds like music in the distance. Violin music.
That's all right, Mr. Benny. That's what she is. Beautiful violin music.
What? Who are you?
I am the ghost of Antonio Stradivarius.
Stradivarius, the greatest violin maker that ever lived.
Yes, Mr. Benny. All of my life I work, I live, I die just to make that violin a beautiful instrument. For 90 years I put my heart and a soul in it. And in 5 minutes you break.
But Antonio...
Mr. Benny, I beg you. I plead with you. Give up with the violin.
But Tony...
Please, in the name of the Paganini, and in the name of every musician, I beg you, don't play the violin. I am so tired of turning over into my grave.
You can't go through that door. It's locked. He went through it anyway. Gee, I know I'm not a Fritz Chrysler or a Heifetz, but I'm not a Spike Jones either. Well, this serves me right for going to see Danny Kaye's picture. What? Who are you?
I'm the ghost of Danny Kaye's twin brother. You saw me in Wonder Man.
But what are you doing on Earth?
Goldwyn picked up my option.
But even so, why did you leave heaven?
Some guy kept blowing a horn at midnight and drove me nuts.
Oh, this must be a trick. I still don't believe you're the ghost of Danny Kaye's twin brother.
Oh, you don't, eh? Do you want me to prove it?
Yes.
Stop it!
Stop it! What's the matter with me? Danny! Danny, Stradivarius! Diamond Jim! Danny!
Here you are, boss. Some ham, cheese, and bologna.
What?
I heard you had company, so I made some sandwiches.
No, Roger. It was just me and 3 ghosts.
Oh, in that case, I better... Why?
Roger, just come back here!
Yeah, wait for me.
That's ridiculous. What are they afraid of? I'm going to finish this book. The McPherson mansion had been vacant for 15 years, when suddenly one night a light appeared in the attic. Then a terrible scream rang out, and they knew that old McPherson had turned to avenge the betrayal.
Jack will be back in just a moment, but first here is my good friend L.A. Speed Riggs.
In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And today, tomorrow, always. Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
Take a tip from the independent tobacco experts. Men like Mr. Joseph H. Burnett, independent tobacco auctioneer of Buffalo Springs, Virginia, who said,
"As a tobacco auctioneer, I have sold over 240 million pounds of tobacco. And year after year, I've seen American buy that fine leaf that makes for fine smoking. I personally have smoked Luckies for 12 years.
In a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. And independent tobacco experts to Burnett. Oh, good night. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Good health to all from Rexall. Yes, it's Sunday, time for the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, presented by the makers of Rexall drug products and 10,000 independent Rexall family druggists.
Good evening. This is your Rexall family druggist taking a little time from behind the prescription counter this Sunday evening to speak for all 10,000 of us. The 10,000 independent druggists who have added the word Rexall to our own store names. You can always tell us by the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that we carry the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. They range all the way from aspirin to penicillin, and they're as fine and pure and dependable as science can make them. We independent druggists recommend them to our customers because we know you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. And now your Rexall family druggist brings you the Phil Harris Alice Faye Show, written by Ray Singer and Dick Chevrolet, with Elliot Lewis, Walter Tetley, Walter Sharp in his music, yours truly, Bill Foreman, and starring Alice Faye and Phil Harris. All of Phil's attempts to get Frankie a job have proven fruitless. In desperation, Alice and Phil have gone to the Rexall office to make a last try at getting Mr. Scott to rehire Frankie. As we find them, they're pleading frantically.
Mr. Scott, please take Remley back. Please. Please.
Mr. Harris,
Oh, you've just got to take him back. Since Frankie came to live with us, I haven't been the same. Look at me. Just look at me.
Mrs. Harris.
Mr. Scott. Now look at her. Her hair's turned white, her eyes are red and swollen, and her face is full of wrinkles. She's bent and broken, and
Hold it, Wanda. What are you trying to do? Railroad me into the old lady's home?
I didn't mean nothing personal by it, honey. I'm just trying to
Mr. Harris, if you and your wife are through with your domestic scene, may I say something?
Oh, of course, Mr. Scott. Hey, what are you going to say? Are you going to give Frankie's job back?
You are, Mr. Scott. Aren't you? Aren't you?
I'll answer that just as soon as the two of you get off my chest and let me up. If it will keep peace in your family, I'll rehire Remley.
Oh, gee. Thank you, Mr. Scott. Look, Frankie's waiting for us at the soda fountain downstairs in the drugstore, and he's going to be so tickled when I tell him that he's back on the show.
Not so fast. He's not going back on the show. I put him to work here in the store. And if he proves himself, then maybe we can talk about putting him back on the show. I'll just take this slip to the storeroom and pick up a uniform for Remley.
Uniform? Well, what kind of work is he going to be doing?
Something befitting his talent. Dishwasher at our soda fountain.
Remley, a dishwasher? Oh, how am I going to tell him this?
I beg your pardon, sir. What kind of a soda did you say you wanted?
You heard me. I want a bourbon phosphate. Not too much fuss. Hey, Remley. Oh, you two are back.
Yeah, hi.
Well, what happened with Scotty?
Frankie,
Oh, Frankie, we've got good news for you. You're working for Rexall again.
I am?
Mm-hmm.
You mean you got me a job again so I can be independent and earn my own money? So I won't have to mooch on you people anymore? So I won't have to stay at your house and live on your money anymore?
That's right, Frankie.
You can't do this to me.
Now, wait a minute, Remley. You told me you were anxious to go back to work for Rexall. Now we got you a job and you're taking it. You ain't going to mooch off of us any longer.
In that case, I guess I'll have to take it. When do I start playing the guitar again?
Francis. You're not going to be playing the guitar.
I'm not?
No, you see, Mr. Scott has another job in mind for you, and it's not with the band.
Well, is it in show business? Does it have anything to do with music?
Well, you might say that. Remley, you're about to become a dish jockey.
A what jockey?
A dish jockey, a crockery laundress, a pearl diver.
I don't get it.
A dishwasher.
Oh, a dishwasher. Wait a minute, I'm not going to be no dishwasher. I'm a guitar player, and that's what I'm going to hold out for.
No. Let's not be hasty, Frankie. There are lots worse things than washing dishes.
Name one.
Your guitar playing. I've listened to you play that thing for 10 years. It's the worst
Alice. I happen to be a great guitar player. I'm one of the best guitar players, dead or alive.
And if you don't count the live ones, he's the best.
I'm sorry, but I refuse to be a dishwasher. It's below me.
Below you? Now listen, Frankie. Do you realize how important the dishwasher is to the scheme of things? Do you realize the necessity of clean dishes to the health of the American public? Being a dishwasher is like being a doctor. You're killing germs and saving lives that would have been lost. Except for the fact that you have saved them.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I can't waste my time working for Rexall.
Why not?
The Mayo Clinic needs men like me.
Look, Remley, you're going to take this job as a dishwasher or not?
Don't be ridiculous. After 8 years in medical school, to be a dishwasher? Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm needed in surgery.
Frankie.
Nurse, please. When a patient's here, call me doctor. Now then, Mr. Harris, let's go back to your case. When did you first discover that staggering wasn't the only way to walk?
Remley, stop stalling and put on this dishwasher's uniform.
Oh, get that gravy catcher away from me.
Look, Frankie, Mr. Scott said this job is only temporary. If you do well, he'll put you back with the band.
Oh, well, that's different. In that case, I might...
Oh, Frankie, I knew you'd do it. You've made me so happy. Now I can lead a normal life again. I got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my little finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love. I've got a song that I sing. I can make the rain go anytime I move my little finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let you go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on the rainbow, got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love.
Sure, you may define in 1,000 ways, but a case like ours needs a special phrase to say that we got the world on a string.
Life is a beautiful thing. As long as I hold the string, I'd be a silly so-and-so if I should ever let you go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my little finger. What a world, what a life, I'm in love.
Ah, gee, Alice, that was wonderful.
I think she's an exhibitionist standing in the middle of a crowded drugstore scene.
Look, Frankie, you're wasting time. Get behind the counter and start washing the dishes. Come on,
Stop pushing. Stop. I'm going. Fine job for an artist like me. I'll try it, but I ain't going to like it one bit.
Pardon me, young man.
You talking to me?
Yes. I'd like something to drink.
I could stand one myself. Where we go?
Puss! Where?
Madam, please. I want to apologize for this man. You see, he's new here. This is his first day.
Oh. Well, I thought it must be something like that. Because I always get very courteous service in a Rexall store. That's why I go to Rexall stores. Because I find that whenever I go to a Rexall store...
All right, you made your point. You go to a Rexall. Oh, with 10,000 of them to pick from, why do you have to come to this one and bother me?
Frankie, stop it, will you please? If you want to get back in Mr. Scott's good graces, wait on the woman. Tell him what you want, miss.
Young man, make me a chocolate soda.
I got dishes to wash. Go make it.
Young man, I don't like your manners.
But yours ain't nothing to write home about.
You keep quiet. Lady, this man is not responsible. Not responsible for what he's saying. You see, his current ain't completely on.
Current ain't on?
He's got a wet wire in his fuse box.
What?
He's got an AC brain and a DC head. In short, lady, he's NUTS.
Oh, a condition of the cerebellum.
All right, he's got a cerebellum. You talk your way, I'll talk mine.
Oh, I don't believe there's anything wrong with this man. If there were, Rexall wouldn't hire him. I think he's just insolent.
That's telling him, fatso.
Well, that's done. I'm going to the manager's office and report you right now.
What a pity. Now I will be fired.
Oh, no, you won't. We spent 4.5 weeks getting you this job, and you're going to keep it. Now, Frankie, you go after that woman and apologize. And just to make sure you do, I'm going with you. Come on.
All right. Here you are, Curly. Put this cap on and take care of my job while I'm gone.
You think I'm going to wash your dishes, Remley? You're... Well, maybe I'd better cover up for him. I'm not going to take any chances on his losing this job.
I beg your pardon. You work here, don't you?
Well, yeah. Yes. What can I do for you, madam?
Well, I have to make a long-distance phone call. Would you mind holding my baby?
Well...
thank you very much. I'll be right back, and please be careful with little Claudia.
But, lady, Oh, no. Oh, now, little Claudia, don't cry. Oh, Claudia, your mommy will be right back. Now, take it easy, will you? Oh. Please, baby. Oh, please. Claude, pipe down. Babe in the arms of Phil Harris, and she's crying. Must be something wrong with this kid. When you grow up and remember this, honey, you'll hate yourself. Oh, Look at me, baby. Look at me. Get a load of this curly hair and blue eyes and big dimples. Get them every time. That's better. Look, I tell you what I'll do, Claudia. The record counter's right across the aisle, and if you're a good little girl, I'll play you a record. Sure. Well, here we are. What would you like to hear? We have records by Bing Crosby, Perry Como, and... Well, lucky little you. Here's the latest Phil Harris Victor recording. You'll love this. Don't be a critic. Don't knock it until you've tried it. Now be quiet, Claude, and listen. One time there was a mountaineer who felt so mighty brave that he took his trusty gun and went to a dark, dark cave. The reason for his venture was a story that he'd heard about a bad, ferocious creature called the Jabberwocky bird. Now, when he got to that dreary cave, our hunter saw a sight. The Jabberwock had 7 heads, and each one was a fright. He turned around and headed home, running all the way. And to all the folks who waited there, the mountaineer did say, "'Twas really gan the slithy toves did gyre and gimble in the wabe. Old Mimsy were the Borogroves and the Momney Rats out grabe. Oh, Frabjous Day, Kalookalay, and from Yus Bandersnatch. My aim was spoiled by 7 heads, but that bird I will catch." Then back again into that cave that mountaineer did go. But how he'd really get the bird, he really didn't know. This time the mountaineer was armed with knives and traps and bait. He had to catch that Jabberwocker, meet a sorry fate. Inside the cave, that gruesome bird confronted him once more. The mountaineer had 7 fits and fell right to the floor. He offered up a hasty prayer and murmured, "It's the end." But 7 Jabberwocky heads said, "Can't we please be friends? We'll gamble in the slithy toves and gyre and gimble in the wabe. We'll mimsy in the Borogroves and the Momney Rats out grabe. Oh, Frabjous Day, Kalookalay, and from Yus Bandersnatch." The mountaineer said, "You mean we're pals?" And 7 heads said, "Natch." The mountaineer just shook his head. He couldn't trust his ears. The Jabberwocky's 7 pairs of eyes were filled with tears. The ugly bird broke down and sobbed, "A witch made me like this, and Jabberwocky I must be until a man I kiss." The mountaineer could not resist that bird's unhappy plea. He bravely puckered up his lips and said, "You'll soon be free." They kissed and 7 heads became just one of golden curls. The ugly Jabberwocky was then the prettiest of girls. They brillied in the slithy toves and gyred and gimbled in the wabe. They mimsied in the Borogroves and the Momney Mass out rabe. Oh, Frabjous Day, Kalookalay, and from Yus Bandersnatch. That couple now have 7 kids. And that is quite a bad. Well, kid, how'd you like that? Smooth diction, wasn't it? Yeah, you said it. The other side's even better. That's Elmer and the Bear. I really lay it on, that one. Hey, I wonder when your mother's coming. She was only supposed to be gone for a few minutes.
Hey, everything's okay, Curly. I apologize to that dame, and she...
Oh, well, good.
Well, you've been a busy little bee since I've been gone. Where'd you get this baby?
Some woman asked me to hold it now. They wanted me to hold it while she went to make a phone call, but she's been gone an awful long time.
She asked you to hold it? Oh, yeah. Curly, how could you fall for an old gag like that?
What do you mean, gag?
Well, the dame won't come back. They've been using that dodge for years. When they want to get rid of a kid, instead of putting it on a doorstep, they give it to a stranger to hold.
Oh, don't be silly. What do you... Wait a minute. Come to think of it, she did force the baby on me and... Hey, Remley, let's check. Come on, help me. Look for that dame. Now, she's got to be in this store someplace. She was wearing a green coat, a brown hat. Remley must be right about that dame. I can't find her any place in the store. Oh, Claudia. Oh, kid, will you stop? I got to get you off my hands. What's your name? Where do you live? What's your phone number? This is no time to be coy. I'm not trying to make a date with you. Now, all I'm trying to do is I got to find...
I got news for you.
Did you find the mother, Frankie?
No, and I don't think we're going to find her either. I just saw the newspaper headlines. Did you know that there's a baby missing that the police have been looking for 5 days, and they said the baby was last seen in this neighborhood?
Oh, no. Oh. Things ain't bad enough. I got to have a hot baby on my hands. Hey, Frankie, we better turn this kid over to the police fast.
Wait a minute, Curly. Suppose they don't believe you. Suppose they think you took it.
Don't be silly. You can tell them I had nothing to do with it. You can tell them that a woman walked up and gave it to me. You can tell them that.
Sorry, Curly, but I didn't see any woman give you a baby. I can't perjure myself.
Remley, some of these days... Oh, never mind. The cops will believe me.
Why should they believe you if your best friend don't? Now, Curly, give me the kid. I'll put it up here on the toy counter in with the dolls. There we are. Somebody will find it later and turn it over to the police.
Yeah, maybe that's the best way. Oh, Frankie. Oh, the kid's crying. We can't leave it here.
Well, what are you going to do with it?
Don't worry. I'll find somebody to palm it off on.
Pardon me, Bud. I want to buy a... Oh, sure, Mr. Harris. So Rexall's got you working in the store now. They finally got wise to you and fired you off the show, huh?
They didn't fire me off of the show. I'll have you know, Julius, that they are very happy with me.
I'll get it. They must be writing his salary off as a bad debt. Well, listen, as long as you're here, you can wait on me.
I ain't waiting on nobody. Rexall pays me to make their customers laugh.
All right, let's see you earn your money. I'm a customer. Make me laugh.
Julius, will you please get...
You heard me, Mac. Make me laugh. Go ahead. Ed, live me a yacht.
Some of these days I'm going to have to hang one on that kid.
You ain't going to make me laugh. Wait on me, then. My mother sent me over to buy a doll for my kid sister.
We ain't got any... Doll? Remley.
Think we can get away with it?
I don't know, but if it'll get Julius arrested, let's try it. Julius, buddy, I think we got just what you want. Here's a doll that looks just like a real baby. How do you like it?
Let me see. Hey, it looks almost live. Wait a minute, this is a real baby.
Of course, you don't think we carry substitutes.
Oh, you guys find a kid. Where'd you get this baby?
It came in with our new spring line. Direct from the factory.
Babies come from factories?
Naturally.
I gotta have a talk with my old man. He thinks the stock brings it.
Hey, look, kid, I can give you a good deal on this baby. I can let you have it cheap because it's getting pretty old.
Old? How old is it?
I don't know. Remley, pick it up and see if there's a date stamped on the bottom.
No date. Just says made in Japan. Now, what do you say, Julius? Shall I wrap it up, or do you want to take it home on a leash?
I better get out of here. I don't know what you guys got, but whatever it is, you got it in the last stages.
Hey, Frankie. What? We better get out of here, too. If I know that kid, he's going to report us. Let's take this baby down to the police and turn it in. Come on. But, Sergeant, are you sure the missing baby has been found?
I tell you, it was found an hour ago. Now, where did you get this baby you're holding?
Well, I was standing in the store, and some woman gave it to me to hold, and I thought that... Holy smoke. Oh, she must be the baby's real mother. Come on, Remley, let's get back to that store fast.
Right.
Come on.
Hey, Curly, the store is crawling with cops. Look at this crowd. Hey, do you think those cops are after us?
No, they must be here for something else. Hey, let's push our way through the crowd. I'm taking this baby back to the mother.
Officer,
Quiet, Claudia.
Officer, you just have to find
horrible man that stole her.
Don't worry, lady. We'll get that no-good skunk. My men got orders that if they catch that rat with your baby, they're to shoot him on sight.
Here, Frankie, you hold the baby.
Don't hand that kid to me. You keep her. After all, you're the skunk that stole her.
Not so loud.
Madam, I'm Mr. Scott of Rexall. Please control yourself. Now, are you sure you handed the baby to one of our employees? What did this man look like?
Sure hope she didn't recognize
Oh,
him.
I'd know him any place. He was a horrible-looking monster. He had squinting eyes, a cruel mouth, a low forehead, a scar on each cheek, and a moronic look.
You're a dead duck, Curly. She got an accurate description of it.
The nerve of that dame calling my two beautiful dimples scars.
Now, madam, try to remember. What time was it that you gave...
Please stop all this questioning. All I want is my baby back. Do you hear me? I want my baby back.
Madam, please, calm yourself. Here, take this. It will soothe your nerves.
Oh, what is it?
A Rexall aspirin. One of our 2,000 fine drug products that is sold in our 10,000 independent drug stores. Now swallow it because you can depend on any product that bears it.
Mr. Scott, I'm in no mood for a commercial. All I want is my baby.
And we'll see that you get it. My company will offer a handsome reward to the person who returns the child.
Reward? Curly, I just thought of a way out for you. Wait till I rip my coat.
Frankie!
Now must my hair smear a little dirt on my face?
What are you doing?
I'm sacrificing myself for you, pal. Give me the baby. Step aside. One side, everybody. Clear the way. Let me through.
Remley, what are you doing here? What happened to you?
Mr. Scott, sir, after a bloody battle against overwhelming odds, I rescued this woman's child. Here's your baby, lady.
Oh, my precious, my darling. Come into my arms and let me kiss you and kiss you.
Later, lady. I'm too winded now.
Remley, I'm proud of you. I'll see to it that you get a $1,000 reward.
Mr. Scott, I don't want money as my reward.
Well, what do you want? I'll give you anything you ask for. Just name it and it's yours.
I want my job back with the band.
Oh. Do me a favor, Remley, and take the money.
Please? No. I insist that I get my job back as guitar player. Not only that, I want to be in charge of the entire string section.
All right. You're in charge of the string section. As far as I'm concerned, you can take over the whole band and be the leader.
The leader? Mr. Scott, that's Curly's job. You expect me to take Curly's place and do him out of a highly paid job. You've come the right guy. After we draw up the contract, we can discuss how much I'm going to...
And now here's your Rexall family druggist.
Last week, a newcomer to our neighborhood walked into my store, and I felt pretty happy when she said,
I'd like to know why practically every woman I've met since I moved here has been needling me to try Rexall drug products.
maybe it's because the makers of Rexall drug products do quite a bit of needling themselves.
What do you mean?
Well, let's take an example. In order to be sure that Rexall surgical lubricant is well pasteurized, Rexall scientists subject it to heat after it's been sealed in the tube. But this calls for a little ingenuity in checking the temperature inside the tube. So Rexall's men of science use a specially constructed instrument, a kind of needle-like thermometer, that actually pierces a sample tube from each batch and registers the exact temperature inside the tube.
I'm beginning to get it. You mean it's things like that?
Exactly, ma'am. It's a lot of things like that. Patient, painstaking, scientific testing that have caused so many millions of people to trust all of the 2,000 or more drug products made by the Rexall Drug Company. We independent Rexall druggists know this, and that's why we're proud to put the orange and blue Rexall sign on our windows. The sign means that ours are the only stores where you can get these products. And it's also why we tell you can depend on any drug product that bears the name Rexall.
Good health to all from Rexall. This is Bill Foreman wishing good health to all from Rexall.
In 30 minutes, it's Morgan on NBC. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Lady Esther Screen Guild players have a surprise for you tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce the president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, Mr. Gene Herschel.
Thank you and good evening. For our guests on tonight's program, we have Barbara Stanwyck, Basil Rathbone, and your actor Michael Curtiz, three of filmdom's outstanding personalities who will offer...
Just a minute, Gene. I thought Jack Benny was supposed to be one of the guests here tonight.
Jack Benny?
Yes.
Well, he was, but he got a little temperamental, so so he's just not here tonight.
But, Gene, Jack told me
Look, Truman, let me explain the whole thing. When Jack found out that Michael Curtiz was going to direct Barbara Stanwyck and Basil Rathbone in a dramatic sketch, right away he wanted to muzzle in on it.
Oh.
So he called me up and tried to sell himself. I had a terrible time getting rid of him, and this is exactly what happened. Hello?
Hello, this is Jack Benny speaking. I'd like to talk to Mr. Holt.
Who?
Mr. Holt. Mr. Hirsch Holt. Is he in?
Well, you must mean Gene Herschel. This is he speaking.
Oh, Gene Herschel. Yes. Well, Mr. Herschel, I called up the Screen Guild players about being on the Lady Esther program next Monday with Barbara Stanwyck.
Yes, I heard about that, but didn't they explain to you that the play is all set and the cast is complete?
Well, yes.
I'll tell you what. Let's make it some other night.
Well, now, look, don't give me that some other time stuff, and you don't have to beat around the bush either. Look, Mr. Herschel, if you don't want me to be on this show, just say so. And all I want is a simple answer. Yes or no?
No.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I can tell from your attitude, Mr. Herschel, that this is a personal matter. I mean, what have you got against me?
I haven't got anything against you, Jack, but you're a comedian. And frankly, I don't think you have enough dramatic ability to play the lead opposite Miss Stanwyck.
What do you mean I can't be dramatic? Did you ever see me when I was worried? Why, I'm only 32 and I've got gray hair.
You're only what?
I've got gray hair, can't you hear? Now, look, who can I speak to besides you about this?
Well, Jack, there's only one suggestion I can make. Get in touch with Mr. Michael Curtiz. He is going to direct the play we're doing on this program.
Michael Curtiz, the director who won the Academy Award? Oh, boy.
And if it's all right with Curtiz, it's all right with me.
Well, thanks. I'll call him right away. By the way, what's Mr. Curtiz's telephone number?
Ulrich 8900.
Wait till I write that down. Ulrich 8... Hey, wait a minute. That's the number you call to get the right time. Now, look, Mr. Herschel. Hello? Operator, I was cut off.
You weren't cut off, brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Fine president for the Motion Picture Relief Fund. Got a good mind to run against him. Now, let's see. Where can I get Curtiz's number? Oh, here's the telephone book right here. Let's see. There's C, Curry. I hate curry. Why do they have to take chicken and spoil it with that stuff? Curtiz. Oh, there it is. No, miss. I want to talk to Mr. Curtiz personally.
Who's calling, please?
Benny, Jack Benny.
Yes, sir. Is it about insurance or something?
No, it's about acting.
Oh.
Please get Mr. Curtiz on the phone.
Yes, sir.
Insurance yet. Haven't sold a policy since Warner Brothers picked up my option. In the first place...
Hello?
Oh, hello, Mr. Curtiz. This is Jack. I'm calling you about that Lady Esther show you're directing next week, and I was wondering if there was a part in it for me.
Jack who?
Pardon me, Benny. Jack Benny. Remember, we met once at a party at Marlene Dietrich's house.
Marlene Dietrich?
You know, the girl with the legs.
All girls I know have legs.
That's right, they do. Now, look, Mr. Curtiz.
Oh, Jack Benny. Oh. Are you the radio comedian?
And violinist.
Now, here's the situation, Mr. Cortez. I just spoke to Gene Herschel, president of the Motion Picture Relief Fund, whom, incidentally, I'm running against next year. Mr. Herschel said if it was okay with you, I could be on the program.
But I'm not directing a comedy, Mr. Benny. It's going to be a very serious, dramatic play.
Well, gee, I can do drama. I made a picture once called The Meanest Man in the World. I didn't get one laugh in it. Now what do you say?
I'm glad I missed it.
Look, I don't mean that. I'm talking about acting with Barbara Stanwyck with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players.
Now, Mr. Benny, I'm trying to explain it to best of my ability. You are a comedian, and it's impossible to convince anyone that you are a lover.
Well, I'm too much of a gentleman to mention names, but, But there are a couple of girls at the Florentine Gardens that'll give you an argument about that, brother.
Now, just wait a moment, Jack. Basil Rathbone is all set to play opposite Barbara Stanwyck, and there is nothing I can do about it.
Basil Rathbone? Well, why can't we make it a triangle? Why can't he be her husband and I her lover?
Because I am a director and not a miracle man.
Well, I'll take care of the miracles. It can be worked out, don't worry.
Oh, all right. I tell you what, Jack, I'm very busy now. I suggest you call Miss Stanwyck. And if it's all right with her, it's okay with me.
Thank you, I'll do that. Oh, what's Miss Stanwyck's telephone number?
Oh, I think it's Crescent 67071.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Hello? Joe's Fish Market.
What?
Come on, buddy. I haven't got all day.
Is Barbara there?
Barracuda, 42 cents a pound.
Barracuda? Who is this anyway?
This is Joe's Fish Market.
Oh, I don't want any fish. I've got
What's wrong with fish?
Nothing.
Boats going out every day, taking a chance with submarines, and you don't like the fish they bring back.
Look, it isn't that. I just happen to call...
It's guys like you that are eating up all the cows in this country.
I never ate a cow in my life. I got the wrong number. Goodbye. Cortez gave me the wrong number purposely. Oh, well, I'll get Barbara in the phone book, and I won't take any chances this time. I'll trap her into letting me play the part. Now, let's see. I'll disguise my voice. Let's see. Stanwyck. S-S-T, Stan, Standish, Stank. I used to go with a girl named Stank. Olga Stank. Stanley, Stanton. There it is, Stanwyck. Hello? I'd like to speak to Miss Stanwyck, please.
This is Miss Stanwyck speaking.
Oh, my name is Fizzbucket. Roscoe J. Fizzbucket. I'm with the Radio Gallipo. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, who do you listen to on Sundays?
Amy McPherson.
I see. Well, Miss Stanwyck, do you ever listen to Jack Benny?
Oh, yes, I never miss him. He's wonderful.
Well, that's nice to know. Tell me, Miss Stanwyck, would you be interested in doing a play that is a love scene with Mr. Benny on the radio?
On the radio, back porch, or Davenport? No.
But you just said he was wonderful.
I don't mind listening to him, but I won't have him pawing me.
Who said I was going to paw you?
Just a minute. Who is this, anyway?
It ain't Joe's Fish Market. Now, look, Barbara.
Why, Jack Benny, you ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, I was only kidding. Now, Barbara, Mr. Cortez suggested that I call you about the Lady Esther show next Monday.
Yes?
Have you any objection to my playing the part of your husband in the sketch?
But I understood Basil Rathbone was playing the part.
Well, he's scheduled to, tentatively. But if you want me, all you've got to do is speak up. I said all you've got to do is speak up. Barbara, are you there?
Yes?
Oh. Well, I wish you'd think this over, Barbara.
But, Jack, this part doesn't fit you. It has to be someone with a lot of sex appeal.
Well, I have sex appeal. Gee, I was thrown out of the Palladium 3 times for dancing too close.
Dancing too close. You were just tired and hanging on.
Well, no wonder the way I jitterbugged. Come on, what do you say, Barbara? How about me doing the play with you instead of Rathbone?
Well, I really have nothing to do with it, Jack. Why don't you call up Gene Hersholt?
I did call him, and it's up to you. Now, look, Barbara, I've got another idea. Why can't
Will you please deposit 5 cents for an additional 3 minutes?
Whoops. 3 minutes already? Just a second. Would you mind dropping a nickel in, Barbara?
I'm sorry, but I don't have a payphone in my house.
Oh, well, that's right. What's the matter with me?
Do I get that nickel or do I have to cut you off?
Now, don't get excited. Here, I found one. There. No more 3 minutes than the man on the moon. It doesn't seem like we've been talking for 3 minutes, does it, Barbara?
You ought to be on this end.
Oh, yes. Well, come to the point, Barbara. Look, here's what I was going to ask you. When do you start rehearsing the play?
Tomorrow night at my house, but I don't think you ought
At your house, eh? What time?
8 o'clock, but really, Jack, I don't think
8 o'clock. Well, thanks, Barbara. See you tomorrow night. I'll read the part, and Basil Rathbone will read the part, and may the best man win. That's fair enough, isn't it?
I'll say it is.
Swell. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, Barbara, shall I come for dinner? Oh, well, some other time.
Well, Mr. Hersholt, what happened after that phone call? Did Jack Benny show up at Barbara Stanwyck's house?
Yes, Truman. The next night about 7:30. I wasn't there, of course, but the way I understand it, when Jack arrived, Miss Stanwyck was still having dinner. So the butler opened the door and he,
Right this way, Mr. Benny. I'll show you into the drawing room.
Thank you, thanks.
Mr. Rathbone is here already.
Oh, he is. One of those anxious guys, eh? Say, this is a lovely home.
May I take your umbrella, Mr. Benny?
Oh, yes. I should have left it out in the hall. You know, it looked like rain when I started out. Machine, dum, da, da, dum, bum, 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 bum. Well, Mr. Rathbone, I'm Jack Benny, the movie star.
Now, how do you do?
How do you do? So the two rivals meet, eh?
Rivals?
Yes. Well, perhaps I should let Barbara tell you, but it looks like, I'm taking your place on the Lady Esther Screen Guild show next Monday.
You're taking my place?
Well, it's this way. At rehearsal tonight, you and I are both going to read the part, and, of course, the best man will win.
The best man?
Yes.
Mr. Benny, when only 2 people are involved in a statement, the comparative is used. You don't say the best man will win, you say the better man will win.
Oh.
Now, if 3 or more people are involved, then the word best is the correct adjective.
I see.
And so before we compete for the part in this play, Mr. Benny, perhaps it would be as well if you first learned how to speak English.
Well, for your information, Mr. Rathbone, I went to Waukegan High School 4 years, and I excelled in English. In fact, I got 99 every single term.
Now, ain't that interesting?
Now, cut that out! And getting back to the Screen Guild show, the way the script is written now, you play the part of Miss Stanwyck's husband. Is that correct?
That is correct and final.
Well, that remains to be seen. I've heard of sore losers in my life, but this guy takes the cake, you know.
Step right in here, Mr. Cortez. Miss Stammick will be with you shortly.
Thank you. Oh, hello, Basil. Hello.
Mike, old boy, how are you?
Fine.
Oh, hello, Mr. Cortez.
What are you doing here?
Well, I just thought I'd drop around to see if I could...
Now, listen, Mike. I don't know what this is all about, but I demand an explanation.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Explanation, that's what I want.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
I was under the impression that I was to appear opposite Miss Stanwick.
Look, Mr. Rathbone.
Of course you were.
Look, Mr. Cortez.
Then what is this all about?
Look, Mr. Now, look!
Now, Mr. Benny, when I spoke to you on the telephone, I thought I made perfectly clear
Good evening, everybody.
Well, here's Barbara. Hello, Barbara.
How are you?
Well, here we are.
Just set the coffee down here, Richard.
Yes, madame.
Demi-tasse, Mr. Cortez.
No, thank you.
Coffee, Basil?
Yes, please.
I'll have some, too.
Here you are, Jack.
Thanks. Oh, Barbara, this is the better coffee I ever tasted.
Mr. Benny, the word is best.
There are only two of us drinking it. Now make up your mind. Well, we're all here, so let's get started with the rehearsal.
Just one moment. Oh, Mike, let's get this settled for Mr. Benny's benefit, shall we? Is he or is he not replacing me in the play?
Certainly not. That's ridiculous.
Of course it's ridiculous.
Why, it's absurd.
You stay out of this.
Please, stop. Stop all this bickering. Now, Jack, if you would like to watch the rehearsal, just take a chair over there and be quiet.
Yes, sir. Oh, Barbara, is it all right if I have some of these walnuts here?
Go right ahead. Help yourself, Jack.
Thanks. Big ones. Jumbos.
Now, Barbara, you too, Basil. If you both turn to the page 12 on the script, we will proceed.
Boy, these nuts are good. Sure are good.
Now, Barbara, you are a wealthy society girl who is married to a New York stockbroker. That's you are, Basil. But he's not in love with you, Barbara. As the French say, it's a marriage of convenience.
That was a tough one.
Mr. Benny! Will you stop eating those nuts?
Barbara said I could. Anyway, Mr. Cortez, I don't want to sit around here like a bump on a log. If I can't have the lead in the play, isn't there something I can do?
All right. If it makes you happy, you can play the part of a butler.
A butler? Okay.
All right, here's your script.
Thanks.
Now remember, Barbara, you are the wife. Basil, you are the husband who doesn't understand her. And Jack?
I'm the butler whom Barbara really loves.
You are the butler, that's all.
Okay. Heavens to Betsy.
All right, Barbara. Now you start the scene. Remember, your husband is 2 hours late for dinner and you are a nervous wreck.
I understand.
Go ahead. Call for your butler.
Yes. Oh, Smedley.
Yes, madame. Smedley yet. What is it, madame?
Are you sure my husband hasn't phoned?
No, madame.
That's strange. He said he'd be back at... What time is it, Smedley?
It's 8:30. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
Oh, no, Smedley. I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
George Washington Slept Here, starring Jack Benny.
That is not in the script. Read the line that are written, please.
Well, it doesn't hurt to give my picture a plug. It doesn't change the plot any, does it? For heaven's sake.
Read it on the way it's written.
All right. Between Hirschhold and you, I don't understand anything. All right, now give me that again, will you, Barbara?
Okay. No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. What's playing in the village?
Casablanca. How's that?
What's better?
And George Washington Slept Here. It's a double feature. Yeah.
Jack, please.
All right, I'll start over again. Shall I serve dinner, madame?
No, Smedley, I'm much too upset to eat. I think I'll go to a movie. Is one of my pictures playing in the village?
There can't be 3 features on one bill.
Shut up!
All right.
Now, Barbara, at this point, the husband entered the room.
I'm ready, Mike.
Oh, Mr. Cortez, let me ask you something. When Basil comes in, or Basil, by the way, how do you pronounce that? Basil or Basil?
Mr. Rathbone.
Oh, well, when Mr. Rathbone comes in...
Just read the line, Jack. I handle the rest.
All right.
Ready?
Director.
Ready, Basil? Make your entrance, please.
Right. Oh, good evening, darling. So sorry I'm late.
Oh, Ronald, you're always late and you're always sorry. It's been like this for months. What has come between us? If I only knew, maybe we could work things out.
Oh, it's nothing, my dear. It's just that I've been so busy lately at the office. Let's forget it.
Dinner is served. Oh, pardon me. I came in too soon.
Understand it, Ronald. We must come to some understanding. This can't go on forever.
Gwen, let's be adult about the whole thing, shall we? Every night it's the same argument, this constant nagging. I tell you, I've been working at the office.
But I phoned your office, and they said you left at 2 this afternoon.
Well, I had business at the bank. Besides, I forgot where I parked my car.
Fine Sherlock Holmes can't even find his car.
Jack, stop interrupting. Continue, Barbara.
Oh, it's no use, Ronald. I know you're lying. Look at you. Everything you say, everything you do gives you away.
Now, Gwen, please.
What's that on your collar? Is it lipstick?
It ain't ketchup.
Jack, please!
Well, I don't want to stand around here like a dope.
You've got the right line now. Say it.
Oh, yes. Beg pardon, madame. Dinner is served.
Jack, don't use such a thick accent.
Well, now I've heard everything. Talk yet. Dinner is served.
Ah, dinner. Come on, Gwen.
We're not having dinner, Ronald. Not until we reach a definite understanding.
But I'm hungry.
Oh, Ronald, I can't go through another day of this uncertainty. I must know. Do you love me or not?
Of course I love you.
You're lying, Ronald. Lying.
Very well, then I'm lying.
Gee.
You might as well know the truth, Gwen. I've never loved you. Never.
Guy must be nuts or something.
And if you weren't so stupid, you'd have known it a long time ago.
Ronald, what are you saying?
Gee whiz.
I married you for your money, that's all. Everybody else knows it. And if you weren't such a silly, blind little fool, you'd have realized it yourself.
Oh, stop, Ronald,
Well,
stop.
Gwen, now that you know how things stand between us, the sooner you divorce me, the happier I'll be.
No, I'll never divorce you, Ronald. I couldn't live without you. I couldn't.
Tears, woman's tears. Oh, stop the dramatic.
Ronald!
I'm moving to my club. Smedley, pack my clothes.
I wouldn't touch your dirty... You rat!
Jack, stick to your lines. You are the butler.
I don't care.
Continue, Basil.
Well, goodbye, Gwen. I'm going to my club. Our attorneys can get together tomorrow.
Don't go, Ronald. Please don't go.
Oh, stop hanging on to me.
But I won't give you up. I won't.
Stop it, I say. Stop it. Let go.
No.
Then take that.
Oh!
That's the last straw. Tear off your coat, Rathbone.
But, Jack, this is only a play.
Play nothing. Put up those dukes, Basil.
Jack, if you don't behave yourself, you can't be in the play.
The heck with the play. If you think I'm going to stand by and see this cad strike the woman I love.
The woman you love?
Yes, Barbara. You might as well know it now. I've been crazy about you for years.
Jack, please.
I don't care who knows it. I don't care if the whole world knows it. I love you, Barbara, as I've never loved before. I know you'll never feel the same way about me, so I'll walk out of your life forever. But before I go, kiss me. Goodbye, my love.
Wow. Now I know why they call him the Waukegan Wolf.
But anyway, Truman, that's why Jack Benny couldn't be here with us on our program tonight.
Oh, well, Gene. Maybe it's just as well. thank you, Barbara Stanwyck, Jean Hersholt, Basil Rathbone, Michael Cortez, and last but certainly not least, you, Jack, for appearing with the Lady Esther Screen Guild players tonight and giving us such a delightful half hour of laughter. We enjoyed every minute of it. Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild players will present Hello, Frisco, Hello. It will star Jack Oakey, Ginny Sims, and Dick Powell. Be sure to listen. Jack Benny's next release will be The Horn Blows at Midnight. Barbara Stanwyck has just completed the picture, My Reputation. Michael Cortez, director of the Academy Award winner Casablanca, has recently completed Passage to Marseille. All Warner Brothers productions. Basil Rathbone will soon be seen in the Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer Technicolor production, Bathing Beauty. Gene Hersholt can be heard every Wednesday night on his own radio show, Dr. Christian. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther, saying thank you. And good night, everyone.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin presents transcribed The Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
If you like good beer, you'll find it pays to be curious and learn about Schlitz for yourself. And now, The Halls of Ivy.
The halls of ivy that surround us here today, and we will not forget though we be far, far away.
Welcome again to Ivy. Ivy College, that is, in the town of Ivy, USA. It's Saturday afternoon, and the Ivy campus has the deserted air of a United States destroyer when the crew is away on shore leave. But there are two still on deck, Commodore William Todhunter Hall, otherwise known as the president of Ivy, and his good mate, the former Victoria Cromwell of the English Theater. There's reason for the Halls to be aboard, but to Dr. Hall, the reason is far from good.
I don't know why I stand for it. Year after year, I lose pounds. My nerves are shattered by the mere anticipation of it.
But they love it so, Toddy. It's such an event for them to look forward to. They don't have much fun, you know.
My dear Victoria, to use the word fun when speaking of the Ivy Women's Civic Reform League is ridiculous. Self-improvement is rarely fun, particularly when the necessity for it is so evident.
Dr. Hall, please remember you are speaking of an organization which I have been invited, even urged, to join.
And which for 5 years, to my certain knowledge, you have successfully ducked. I wish you luck for the next 5.
Put 5 more on it for me. The one real inducement is that I could at least hear you read a poem to them once a year. Personally, I think it's much too good for them.
If I could get out of this thing, I would gladly give you a personal command performance once a week.
Well, you can't. You've got to be their lion once a year, just as long as you're president of Ivy, unless you don't need their support or their money for the college.
I do. The love of money is the root of all evil. And for Ivy's sake, I'll water the roots. But if it weren't for that horde of women, if there were only a man or two around, I would quite enjoy it. I wouldn't mind once a year exchanging the musty air of the campus for the heady aroma of ham. But to this audience...
Toddy, they're really very nice.
Yeah, but they frighten me. When I think what putty I am in the hands of one woman... Well, this gathering could use me to tighten every loose window pane in America.
You just got opening night jitters.
You think that after appearing before the Women's Civic Reform League 8 years in a row, I'd be a seasoned performer by now.
Yes, too bad you can't have a line of dancing girls for support.
Yes. Most attractive. A chorus of Tarara Bumdier between each verse might really help the box office.
What poem are you doing?
The Eve of St. Agnes. It's a request number and not my favorite among Mr. Keats's work.
Just what selection would you prefer, Doctor? The shooting of Dan McGrew? Face on the barroom floor? Or Boots?
No, I take my poetry rather seriously, as you know. And while I was a great admirer of Robert's service in my youth...
You are now an ex-serviceman.
But poetry has a function even in this atomic age. Great poets catch something of eternal truth in their lines. Those cobwebs of verity which are as strong as steel, holding in suspension the beauty and perception which distinguish us from the rest of the animal kingdom. I hope you wrote that down, my darling. I can use that again sometime.
Yours of July 5th received and contents noted.
Vicky, who's that?
What?
Out the window. That enormous young fellow slinking back and forth in front of the delphiniums.
Oh, yes.
Seen those shoulders before? Isn't that Philip Carnes, our best fullback?
Why, yes, it is. I believe he's known on the campus as Moose. The Texas Moose.
Very aptly named. Though our garden is a trifle small for a game preserve. What's he doing out there?
I wouldn't know, Toddy, unless it has something to do with that little talk I had with him in the bookshop this morning.
A football player in a bookshop? Was it raining?
No. He'd gone in to use the phone. And he seemed so frightfully depressed. He has a love problem, Toddy, and I gave him some very constructive advice.
Oh, I'm sure you were very helpful. What advice did you give this love-torn giant?
I advised him to come and see you.
Oh.
Well, that's what I always advise everybody. I figure I like to see you, so why shouldn't everyone?
Well, thank you. A nice sentiment, although the secretary is definitely none.
I must say I didn't expect him so soon. I know you don't want to be disturbed right now.
Well, he seems quite undecided about coming in. Maybe if we're very quiet, he'll go away.
I believe he is going away.
Well, if he is, he'd better start. Anything as large as that will take several hours to get hull down on the horizon.
No, he's coming back. Oh, can't you see him for a few minutes?
Oh, whatever his problem is, I'm sure it'll keep one more day. Young men have a tendency to magnify these things. Well, he can't be as miserable as he looks. Such trivial things as this shouldn't be permitted to. Oh, well. Philip.
Yes, sir?
Come in.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Hall, I suspect you of having nice instincts. In fact, I've been collecting evidence of it for years, and I had you just about convicted.
Well, I might as well see him now and get it over with. I'll probably have a very busy schedule at the college tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow's Sunday.
Oh, well, Sunday will be a busy day, too. Getting the hammock out of the basement, stringing it up, lying in it, getting out and stringing it tighter.
I'll leave you two alone for your man-to-man talk.
Oh, you make me feel like Judge Hardy.
Yes. Well, you have the large economy-sized Mickey Rooney to deal with, Judge. I hope it's interesting.
Come in, Philip.
Thank you, sir.
Right in here. Sit down, won't you?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you better take the large chair.
All right. Gee, I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see that smoking stand. They call me the Moose, you know, and it's not because I'm so graceful.
I'm sure it wasn't your fault, Philip. You know, since you came in, the entire room seems to have shrunk. Please visit us often. You make me feel quite dainty. Well, how's spring training coming along?
Just fine, sir. Just fine. I suppose you wonder why I suppose you know why I came over to see you.
Well, Mrs. Hall did mention something about a problem.
You probably think I'm kind of dopey, bothering you about something like this.
Oh, not at all. Now, if you just tell me what your problem is.
All right, sir, I will. It's about my girl, Dolores Whitaker. I met her the first of this semester in Chem Lab. We shared the same Bunsen burner. We didn't talk too much at first, just chemistry stuff like H2O. That's water.
Yes, I And as a morsel of knowledge to share with one's love, it's a little damp, but it's a definite beginning.
Sure. Well, I asked her to go to my fraternity dance, but she had a date with a guy named Joe Shellhammer. You know Shellhammer. He's a tennis player. He saw us flapping around in white flannels. Well, I didn't like to ask her to break a date with him. But on the other hand, if she did go with Shellhammer...
Philip, I don't mean to rush you, but couldn't we get to the heart of the matter?
Oh, yes, sir. Well, anyhow, we've been going steady for the last 6 months. We have our own private code. It's a love code in Latin.
Well, Latin is the parent of the Romance languages. And at the age of 12, I furthered my own amours with a species of code in Pig Latin. There's a girl named Wilma Crumb. She's now a police matron.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, every morning when I pass her in the hall, I say to her, Amo amasamat. And she says to me, Amama samari samant.
Oh, yes. First conjugation, present indicative of the verb amo, meaning to love.
We've been doing that every morning for 6 months. I say to her, Amo amasamat, and she answers, Amama samari samat.
Philip, if you pardon my saying so, I not only deplore the monotony of your linguistic exchange, but the nature of your problem still escapes me.
Oh, well, here it is. Yesterday, when I said to her, Amo amasamat, she didn't amama samari
samat. She didn't what?
That's my problem. Why didn't she?
Well,
maybe she doesn't love me anymore.
I wouldn't jump to conclusions, Philip. She may simply have forgotten.
Forgotten? That's just it. People forget only what they want to forget. I learned that in Psychology 1A.
Oh. Well, I don't believe that's irrefutable evidence that her affections towards you have cooled. She may have had something else on her mind. Girls are not always thinking of boys, you know. Sometimes they think of clothes, particularly if they are about to meet a boy.
Uh-huh. That indicates an unconscious resentment of the love object. Something else on her mind, I mean. I learned that in psychology, too.
Oh, my dear Philip, I'm beginning to think that, like knowledge, a little psychology can be a dangerous thing. The human skull has 7 apertures. This permits a sound, sensible thought to escape in a different way every day of the week.
Well, this thing is really getting me down. Overnight, I've gone from 220 pounds down to 218.
Well, Cupid has always exacted his pound of flesh. But 2 in your case. You're a large target for an arrow, you know.
I must be getting neurotic. Maybe I ought to be analyzed.
My only suggestion is that you select a psychiatrist with a sturdy couch. Otherwise, it might break down before you do.
You're ribbing me now, Dr. Hall. I guess I deserved it.
Oh, no, forgive me, Philip. I really want to help you.
I know this all sounds pretty goofy, but every morning when I meet Dolores in the hall and she says those few words, it's like telling me she loves me all over again. It makes me feel good. It picks me up for the whole day. I go around saying to myself, Moose, you're a lucky stiff. She really loves you. I guess it's kind of hard for anyone else to understand.
Philip, I'm going to tell you something I've never told anyone before. About an hour from now, I'm going to recite a poem for a local group. Something I do every year. It's not an earth-shaking event, but it's important to the organization which sponsors it. Every year when they call on me, I stand up to face that audience with my knees trembling, and then I reach into my coat pocket, and I'll find a note. It's a note from my wife. Just a few lines of encouragement. She never fails. Oh, it's a small thing, Philip, but it's very important to me. So you see, I do understand.
Yes, sir, I guess you do. Funny, you never think of older people doing things like that.
One of the compensations for being older people is a certain increase in understanding and a slight dulling of supersensitiveness. One is not so slowed down by being cut to the quick. When young people are in love, they tend to be upset by little things. If you allow yourself to be unduly hurt by every tiny act of inattention, it's it's like not seeing the forest for the trees.
Say, that's a good way to put it.
It, always has been. But perhaps you'll take the word of an older man who may be just a little bit more experienced about these things. I was about to say wiser, but that's a different thing. Experience and wisdom are bedfellows, but sometimes experience snores too loudly.
Well, gee, thanks, Dr. Hall. I'm going to run over and see Dolores right now. Gosh, I knocked it over again.
Toddy?
Oh, come in, my dear.
Yeah. Where's Philip?
I'm down here, Miss Hall. I'm afraid I got ashes all over the rug. I'm trying to brush them up.
Oh.
Yes, Vicky, you just missed a very thrilling play. Philip straight-armed the smoking stand, reversed his field, eluded the easy chair, then crashed over for a touchdown under the piano.
I'm sorry I wasn't here to lead the cheering section. I came in to see what coat you're going to wear today, Toddy.
Oh, the dark blue, I think.
All right. I'll get it out and give it a good brushing. We can't give the ladies a dusty prep fit. I'll be back in a minute.
There you are, Philip. Every year she finds some excuse to whisk my coat away for a few moments.
This is when she puts the note in your pocket?
This is it.
Gee, love is wonderful. Isn't it, Dr. Hall?
It is, Philip. You may quote me on that. Oh, not as the author of the statement, but as an enthusiastic endorsement.
Well, good night, Dr. Hall, and thanks a million.
Not at all, Philip. Good night. It was a lover and his lass with a hey and a ho and a hey nonny no. When birds do sing, hey ding-a-ding-a-ding, with a hey and a ho, I don't know how it goes. My suit ready, Victoria?
Yes. And while you're changing, I'll get some tea and sandwiches ready. It won't take long. You just listen for the patter of little caraway seeds.
Wonderful. Well, I suppose the note is in the right-hand pocket as you... No. Where's the left one, then? Just so we don't get in a rut. Or perhaps the breast pocket. No, only the handkerchief. That leaves the inside one, then. As the old saying has it, things are always in the last place you look, because after you find them, you don't look anymore. So Well, she forgot it. This is a novelty. A professor with an absent-minded wife.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
We'll return to the halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Colman in just a moment. But first, let's hear how a man went on a fishing trip and had beginner's luck.
Well, it wasn't my idea to go trout fishing. It was Harry's. He talked me into a fishing outfit and into a trout stream before I could say Isaac Walton. Once I was hip deep in water, Harry vanished to try his luck downstream. I was left with a fly-casting manual in one hand and a rod in the other. With uncanny precision, I proceeded to lodge my hook in a clump of trees, a cluster of daisies, and finally in the seat of my fishing trousers. Well, after an hour or two, my dry lure, completely discouraged by such rough treatment, sank beneath the surface where it caught on an object that I couldn't budge. When I investigated, I discovered that I'd hooked the fish net loaded with cans of Schlitz beer that had been put in the water to cool. Well, Harry showed up just then, and I said, "How do you like that, a whole afternoon of fishing and not a nibble?" "Oh, on the contrary," said Harry, opening 2 cans of Schlitz and handing me one. "You seem to have made the best catch of all. You know, it's not for nothing that Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America." Well, I lifted the can of Schlitz and drank. "Yeah, come to think of it, I believe you're right," I said. "When a beer tastes this good, It's no wonder they call Schlitz the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
That surround us here today.
As we return to the halls, we find Dr. Hall about to leave for his annual poetry reading at the Women's Civic Reform League. But it's a disturbed Dr. Hall, because Vicky has apparently forgotten her usual note of encouragement and support.
I'm sorry young Philip's broke into your time with his love problems.
Oh, I'm quite used to that by now, Vicky. I've spent so much time policing undergraduate affairs of the heart. I feel like a combination of Beatrice Hoover and J. Edgar Fairfax.
I don't suppose you're free to tell me what it was all about. Though I don't know why a boy who wears his heart on his sleeve should object to a passerby listening to it beat.
Well, it seems he was quite upset because his young lady friend failed to... No, it's too inconsequential to talk about.
Oh, yeah, I see. The masculine code of honor. Never discuss man-to-man talk. Well, anyhow, it's time for you to be going. What is it?
I forgot what I was going to say. It's not like you. You never seem to forget anything. Oh. Practically never, anyway.
Yes. Toddy, hadn't you better get started?
Yes, I suppose I should. Well, goodbye, Vicky.
Goodbye. What's the matter? Have you forgotten something?
No, I believe I have everything. I hope I have, anyway. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye.
Oh, well.
Oh, Toddy.
Yes, Vicky. What is it?
I almost forgot something.
Yes, what is it?
Do you have a clean handkerchief?
Oh. Yes. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Oh, well.
Ah, there, Skipper.
Good afternoon, Professor Heaslip.
And what poetic gem are you dishing up for the girls today, Skipper? Something, I hope, which will bring a tear to the eye, a throb to the chest, and a tendency to clutter up the exit as they depart.
Are you familiar with Emery Dobson's epitaph to an enervating companion?
Dobson? Epitaph to a... No, Skipper, I'm afraid that one has passed me by.
Well, I was just testing your knowledge, Heaslip. I'm really doing The Eve of St. Agnes by John Keats, by request. It's not the selection I would have chosen had I been given a free hand, but with a command performance, one doesn't question the sense of the command.
How right you are, Skipper, how right you are. Mrs. Heaslip, you know, is a moving spirit in the Ladies' Civic Reform League. A crusader, a local Joan of Arc. She hears voices. Yours by preference, Skipper.
Very kind of her, I'm sure. Very kind.
You appear rather more preoccupied than your attainments as a public poetry reader would seem to necessitate, Skipper. Everything well in hand? Acknowledgement of the introduction all prepared? Got the notes, the throat lozenges?
Yes, I have everything, thank you, Heaslip. And if there is anything which I am missing, I'm sure it's nothing which should perturb an adult mind, one which refuses to make a tragedy of an incident.
I don't follow you, Skipper.
That's very tactful of you, Heaslip. This is my errand, and I must go it alone. Good day to you.
Carry on, Skipper. Gad, what a mournful fellow.
Dr. Hall?
Yes?
I'm Dolores Whitaker.
Oh?
I'm a friend of Philip. You know, the movie.
Oh, yes, Dolores Whitaker, of course.
Philip told me about the talk he had with you. Thank you, Dr. Hall. Thank you so much.
I'm glad if I was of any help.
Like you said to Philip, we all have to develop a sense of perspective about these things. When two people have a real relationship, it's silly to be hurt about little things.
Yes, isn't it? Quite silly.
It's like, well, Philip says it's like not seeing the forest for the trees.
And I must say Philip has an ear for a good resounding cliche.
Hasn't he, though? Well, thank you again, Dr. Hall. I know Philip will always be grateful for your advice. Jiminy, when I think how a trifling little thing like that might have busted us up forever.
Oh, my dear, there's a remarkable thing about advice. It's like bitter medicine. So much easier to give it than to take it. And quite often the advisor should save a big, dripping spoonful of it for himself.
And now, ladies, pièce de résistance. Every year, we are honored by the presence of the president of our university, who joins with us in paying tribute to the great poets of yesterday and today. Today's selection, The Beautiful Eve of St. Agnes, by Browning.
Pardon me, Keats.
I'm sorry. The Eve of St. Agnes, by Robert Keats.
John.
Oh, what am I thinking of? John Keats, of course. It was chosen by our gracious chairwoman for 1950, Mrs. Grace Heaslip.
Mrs. Heaslip?
But before I present this treat of the afternoon, I would like to take a few minutes to tend to...
They are frightening, aren't they? And, oh, Vicky, I do miss your notes. It's the first time you've ever forgotten anything like that.
Doctor, you dropped something.
I beg your pardon, madam?
When you pulled out your handkerchief to wipe your glasses, you dropped this slip of paper.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, madam. Thank you, Vicky.
Oh, not Vicky, Doctor. Helen.
Thank you, Helen. Madam. Dear Toddy, do a good show. Thinking of you every minute. Bless you, Vicky.
Now that's the main purpose of this meeting, ladies. It is my great honor and pleasure.
Vicky.
Oh, Toddy, you're home. How did it go?
Never better. I took 4 bows. Although I may have forced the last one a bit. Milking it, I believe it's called.
I doubt that very much. You probably ran off stage to screams of encore. Did you find my note?
Yes, my darling, I found it. In my breast pocket. Between my handkerchief and my heart. But, Vicky...
Yes, Toddy?
I'm glad I found it, but it didn't have to be there, you know. You're so close to me at all times that a mere note, on mere paper, is mere trimming. I loved it. But I love you so much more that I don't need words, written or spoken. And, remind me sometime to thank the Texas Moose for helping with my education. By the way, do you remember your Latin?
Oh, I can mess around with an irregular verb here and there. So I'm afraid if Julius Caesar asked me to lunch, we'd have rather rough going. Why?
How about amoa massa mat?
No, don't rush me, Julius. Oh, yes. A mama's a mother's a man.
Splendid. Vicky, you just made a dead language sit up and smile.
I was curious. I tasted it. Now I know why Schlitz is the largest selling beer in America. No wonder it's the beer that made Milwaukee famous.
And here again are Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Be sure to see Ronald Coleman's latest picture, Champagne for Caesar. We'll be seeing you next week at this time at the Halls of Ivy, starring Mr. and Mrs. Ronald Coleman. The other players were Ellen Reed, Gloria McMillan, Lois Corbett, and Robert Easton. Tonight's script was written by Gene Stone, Jack Robinson, and Don Quinn. Our music was composed and conducted by Henry Russell. The Halls of Ivy was created by Don Quinn, directed by Nat Wolfe, and transcribed by the Joseph Schlitz Brewing Company of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Ken Carpenter speaking.
Next, hear The Falcon on NBC.
It isn't the Smiling Irishman, and I didn't drive months mad. Thanks for the gag, Rochester.
The makers of Bluebonnet Margarine and Tenderleaf Tea present The Fred Allen Show with Fred's guests Leo Durocher, Portland Hopper, Minerva Pius as Mrs. Nussbaum, the Tenderleaf Workshop Players, the DeMarco Sisters, and Al Goodman and his orchestra. And in case you're doing your Christmas shopping early, my name is Kenny Delmar. Last Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, an Army Air Force crew completed a record-breaking non-stop flight from Guam to Washington, D.C. in a B-29. Tonight, we bring you a man who will never again B-29, and here he is, Fred Allen.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And, Kenny, I had the misfortune to overhear that joke there. A man who will never again be 29. You are sharp tonight, Kenny.
Oh, thank you, Fred.
You are as sharp as either end of a butterball on a warm day. But I read about that flight from Guam to Washington. Those AAF boys broke the non-stop, non-fueling record.
Yeah, well, who held the old record?
The old record was held by Superman, Kenny.
Superman?
Yes, when Superman flew, he was handicapped by adverse weather conditions. He got caught in a storm, as I remember, over Alaska. Ice formed on the hem of his cape. Headwinds ripped off his jersey. His credentials were blown away.
Well, if Superman, if he landed without that big letter on the front of his jersey, how did people know who he was?
Well, Superman is a contortionist, Kenny. He made a nest of himself. For holding that record.
Mr. Allen!
Well, Portland, just in time. Say, tell me, did you enjoy your Thanksgiving dinner? And no turkey jokes, please. I heard so many turkey jokes this past week, feathers started growing out of my radio. It's molting around the antenna.
Well, Mama and I went to a hotel Thanksgiving.
Oh, for your dinner?
Yes. The chief cooked a wonderful meal.
The chief? You mean the chef, don't you?
The cook at the hotel is an Indian.
Oh, the Algonquin. Think about it. Say, you and your mother must be stepping out.
Oh, Mama has to. She's in the social swim.
Really? If your mother is in the social swim, she's going down for the third time. Your mother thinks society is something they have for the prevention of cruelty to animals.
Mama's...
Audubons. They have a society for the prevention of cruelty to Audubons, too.
Mama's going to the opera tomorrow night.
Oh, really? The riffraff getting in this season? That's right. The Met is opening this week. All the big opera stars will be back here in town. Lawrence Melchior, Lily Pons, Singing Sam, Andy Russell. Is your mother going formal? Is she wearing her mink knickers?
Mama's wearing her new backless evening gown.
Oh, backless?
Uh-huh. She wants to show off her new tattoo.
Tattoo?
On Mama's back, it says, "Buy Victory Bonds."
Oh, boy. Some slogan.
Oh, it works out swell.
Well, how do you mean?
Between her shoulder blades, Mama has a little mole.
And?
In the word victory,
yeah,
the mole dots the I.
The mole, and imagine the mole knowing that much about grammar. Well, with your mother, if it ever gets low someday, it'll be a comma. But with your mother's shoulder blades, the whole thing must be in parenthesis. And speaking of parentheses, your mother is a parent, and this is a good time to start for Allen's Alley.
What is your question for tonight?
Well, Portland, this past week, President Truman recommended a 5-point national health program to provide free medical care for the nation's sick. And so our question tonight is, what is your reaction to the president's health plan?
Shall we go?
As one glutton said to the other glutton, let's cram. Well, here we are, regardless of the traffic. Here we are back in Allen's Alley, Portland. I'll see if Senator Claghorn is in.
Somebody, I say, somebody now. Claghorn's the name, Senator Claghorn, that is.
I know you.
I'm from Dixie.
Now, look.
Thanksgiving, that is. I only ate the part of the turkey that's facing south.
Senator, I know you're from the South.
And no man living can make me wear a union suit.
Underwear.
What's on your mind, son? Speak up.
Well, if you give me half...
This is America, son. You got free speech.
I'm trying to exercise...
Well, go ahead and talk, son. Don't wait to be prodded. Prodded, that is.
Look, and I know what prodded is. Now, just inhale for a second there, Senator, and answer this question. How does Washington feel about the President's health program?
Now listen to this, son. I don't want to waste any more here. We had a big debate in Congress. Somebody was running down Senator Hill. Running downhill, that's a joke, son.
I know it's a joke.
When you hear something funny, laugh, son. I know I wasted another one on you. Now admit it, son, you ain't much of a wit.
Look, Senator, what do you think will happen if the government provides money for our medical care?
Things will boom, son.
Well, how do you mean things will boom, Senator?
If people can get paid for being sick, they'll all lay down.
I see.
With 130 million Americans flat on their backs,
yes,
things will be looking up. Up, that is. I just thought of something. Remember Stonewall Jackson?
I'll keep it in. Well, that takes care. I like to stake Stonewall apart and throw a rock at a time at the Senator. Well, now let's see what's on Titus Moody's mind tonight.
Howdy, Bob.
Well, Mr. Moody, frankly, you look a little tousled tonight.
I just got up.
You were in bed all day?
No, I fell down. I just got up.
Well, tell me, Mr. Moody, what do you think of the President's new health program?
I could have used it 40 years ago.
Oh, you mean as a baby you were sickly?
Yeah, doctor said I was anemic.
Oh, you had no blood?
If a mosquito lit on me, he was wasting his time.
Gosh.
If I cut my finger...
The cut wouldn't bleed?
It could just hiss a little and pucker.
How did they cure you?
Every day the doctor give me a shot in the arm.
And all these shots?
When I was 5-year-old, I was all shot to health.
Good. And you haven't seen a doctor since?
You know the old saying, Bob, a duck a day.
Oh, no, you mean an apple a day keeps the doctor away.
I eat a duck a day.
A duck?
My doctor's a quack. So long, Bob.
Well, Mr. Moody looks as though he's been eating decoys. Well, let's try this next house.
No.
Oh, Mrs. Nussbaum.
You were expecting maybe Catherine Slugburn.
Now, tell me, Mrs. Nussbaum, are you happy about the President's plan for free medical care?
Coming a little closer, I'm having a secret.
Oh, a secret, huh? Another atom bomb?
Another nerd bomb.
You mean...
Already teensy-weensy garments I am crotcheting.
Oh, yeah. You're crotcheting the garments.
And little bootses I'm buying.
Oh, little bootses.
Didies I'm cutting. Lullabies I'm lining. Rock-a-bye-bye.
Now, look, just let me interrupt your hit parade for a second there. Is your husband, Pierre, making plans, too?
Then the Stark is flying in for a landing.
Yes?
Pierre is standing by to shout, Roger!
Roger. Well, you have no doctor's bills to pay.
This is giving Pierre an idea to naming the baby.
Oh, you're naming the baby in honor of the president's plan?
The government is paying.
Yeah?
Pierre is calling the baby Shingle.
Shingle? Why?
This one is on the house.
Oh. Well, that brings us to the last shack in Allen's Alley. Let's see what a knock here will do.
Hello, Mr. Allen.
Why, it's the 5 DeMarco sisters. What are you kids doing here in McGee and McGee's house?
We're rehearsing our song in the middle of May. May, that is.
Well, let's see. Claghorn's children, huh? Well, let's see how the middle of May sounds now at the end of November, all right?
In the middle of May, he met a gal named June. Took her out July, June, neath an August moon. And all through September, he kept admiring her charm. And all through October, they were locked in each other's arms. From November to January, the runaround began. February and March, he was a worried man. It was a till April. Then she said, okay, okay, okay. And they were married in the middle of May. From November to January, it's on, the runaround began. February and March, he was a worried man, worried man. It wasn't till April, she said, here comes the bride, and they were married in the middle of
Al Goodman and the DeMarcos. And that brings us to Kenny, who has his topic well in hand. Kenny?
One topic that never loses its fascination is good food and how to enjoy it. Remember the letters FNE for flavor, nutrition, economy. Bluebonnet margarine gives all three: flavor, nutrition, economy. Yes, it pays to get Bluebonnet margarine. For Bluebonnet gives you not just one, not just two, but three important things. First of all, flavor. Delicious flavor. Fresh, delicate, country sweet. Flavor that makes folks smack their lips and say, I couldn't ask for a finer table spread. And remember, you get nutrition in Bluebonnet. Proved nutrition. Every fresh, sweet pound is rich in food energy, rich in vitamin A. And it's economy to use Bluebonnet. It saves you real money. Costs so little you can spread it on twice as thick. Delicious Bluebonnet margarine is a product of the makers of Fleischmann's yeast. The reputation of this fine old firm stands back of every pound. Get Bluebonnet at your grocer's tomorrow. The wonderful new margarine that gives you flavor, nutrition, economy. All three.
Al Goodman and his synopsis symphonist have tried to play No Can Do, and it came out No Can Do as well. Yes, Portland, you wanted something?
I brought you an aspirin. You look all in.
Oh, I am partly in. It's that Christmas shopping.
Have you finished yours?
Yes, I bought my relatives a case of Bluebonnet margarine.
One case of margarine for 20 relatives?
They can spread it among them. It's spread, you know.
Did you buy anything for me, I hope?
Well, that's what started all my trouble, Portland. I went into Tiffany's. You know, it's always so quiet at Tiffany's. The atmosphere is so refined. Well, I was standing at the lavalier counter browsing. 6 Pinkerton men were holding my arm. At the next counter, suddenly I heard an argument. The salesman was saying,
I'm sorry, sir. I can't take. Listen, you meathead. If you lay a hand on me...
I'll pull your nose down your face so fast you'll think it's a zipper.
Leo Durocher. Leo, what's the trouble?
I came in here to buy some cufflinks.
And I refuse to take his money. No good.
You're nuts. I've been spending this money for the last 2 months. Look at these bills, Fred.
Leo, this is Japanese occupation money.
I know. I'm loaded with it. I'm yen happy.
Say, that's right. I read that you and Danny Kaye spent 2 months entertaining our boys in Japan. How was your trip?
Wonderful, Fred. We flew over 32,000 miles to Manila, Guam, Kwajalein, Okinawa, Yokohama, Tokyo, and Korea.
Say, did you see that city where the first atomic bomb was dropped?
Yes, Fred. We flew over Hiroshima for about half an hour.
It was a shambles, huh?
A shambles? It looked like Ebbets Field after a doubleheader with the Giants.
Well, what about that city where the second bomb landed, Nagasaki?
You know that old song, Back in Nagasaki, where the fellows chew tobacco?
You mean in Nagasaki?
They haven't even got a cuspidor left.
Tell me, did you see General MacArthur over there?
Yes, Danny and I saw General MacArthur in Tokyo.
What did the general say?
He just said hello and went back to adding up his points.
Did you meet any of your Dodger players on the trip?
Yes, I did. I saw Kirby Higbee, one of my pitchers in Manila, and Rube Melton hitchhiked 150 miles to visit me in Tokyo.
No kidding. I guess you ran into a lot of Dodger fans with the GIs, too.
You'll find Dodger fans all over the world, Fred. I met them everywhere. They're great guys.
Well, now that you're back, Leo, I suppose you're going to take it easy?
No, Fred. I'm going to start worrying about the team for next season.
Leo, every season you worry. For what? Why don't you give up baseball?
Give up baseball? What will I do? I'm too old for radar.
Why, you've just finished entertaining hundreds of thousands of GIs. You can go into the theater.
Who wants to be a stagehand?
What stagehand? You can be a star. Why, I'll put you in my show.
Your show?
Leo, I have written a new opera. It's based on Pinafore.
I've seen a lot of Pinafores on Broadway. The Hot Pinafore, Hollywood Pinafore, Memphis Bound was Pinafore.
I know, Leo, but my show is different.
What is it called?
The Brooklyn Pinafore. And you will be the star, Leo.
But, Fred...
Look, the Brooklyn Pinafore starring Leo Durocher. The first scene in my opera is the bleachers at Ebbets Field. It's the big game between the Giants and the Dodgers. Brooklyn rooters are sitting around in their underwear. Ushers are running up and down the aisles with rocks looking for Giant fans. Peddlers are going through the stands selling raw meat sandwiches for the kiddies. And as the curtain rises, we have the opening chorus. The bleachers sing...
We're the loyal Brooklyn fans. For the Dodgers we are choiping. We throw bottles from the stands. And from soda pop we're poiping. When the Dodgers are flumps, we start blowing our tops. To the Giants we'll never yield. When the Blumps finally score, we cut loose with a roar. To the rafters of Ebbets Field. Ahoy, ahoy, them bums, we're loyal to our Dodgers, ahoy!
And then, Leo, the Dodger team runs out on the field. The stands break into a cheer.
Flatbush, Greenford, Thorough, Hall. Who's the team with something on the ball? Dodgers! Dodgers! D-O-J-E-R-S! Dodgers!
And then, Leo, you run out of the dugout.
I come on?
Yes, Leo. You stand right near home plate. The rest of the team kneels around you in a semicircle. The infielders have lavender bats. The outfielders have mandolins with mother-of-pearl picks. The crowd quiets down as you step up to the microphone and sing.
I am the captain of the Dodger team.
And a right good captain he.
I am quiet and subdued, and they say a little crude, but I frighten rather easily.
He is quiet and subdued, and they say a little crude, but he frightens rather easily.
Bad language and abuse I never use. No one do I intentionally hurt. Though heavens I may occasionally say, I never call an umpire jerk.
What, never?
No, never.
What, never?
Well, hardly ever.
He never calls an umpire jerk. So give a cheer and give a shout for the Dodger captain. dancing with a big loud mouth. So give a cheer and give a shout for the Dodger captain with a big loud mouth.
That was great. Great, Leo. If Rudy Valley is listening in, he'll never know another good night's sleep.
What happens next, Fred?
Well, now, Leo, comes your big love scene. The game starts, and as you're standing in front of the dugout, something hits you on the ear.
A pop bottle?
No, Leo. It's a rose. Someone has thrown a rose.
At Ebbets Field?
Well, this is a fantasy, Leo. You look up, and there she stands, the beautiful mystery girl. She speaks.
It was me that turned the rose, Leo.
Mystery girl, you're back.
Yeah, I come to wish you luck against the Giants, Leo.
You bring a message, fair one?
Yeah, Leo. Go out and light them fly.
Mystery girl, I cannot conceal my love for you any longer.
Please, Leo.
You don't love me?
Love you, Lippy. I'm carrying a torch for you that could light up 2 night games.
Then why won't you marry me?
You gotta get me old man's okay, and that's gonna be tough.
Well, who is your father? Mystery girl, who are you?
You wanna know who I am? Okay, I'll tell you. I'm called Little Bobby Socks. Sweet little Bobby Socks. My heart for you, Lippy, could voice. Before you make me your mate, let's get this one fact straight. Frankie Sinatra comes voice. I'm sweet little Bobby Socks. Dear little Bobby Socks, but I'm not getting younger, you see. Too long I have tarried, but since Frankie's married, it's Lippy Durocher for me.
Leo, that love scene will make people forget Mr. Anthony and Cleopatra. Wallace Beery and Marjorie Main couldn't have done it any better.
Well, what's the next scene, Fred?
Now it's the big climax, Leo. Get this picture. It's the last half of the 9th inning. 2 men out. The crowd is going crazy. You step up to the plate. I'm the umpire behind the plate. We hear Red Barber over the loudspeaker saying,
"What a game, folks. Leo Durocher's at bat. Leo is the Dodgers' only hope. 1 run can tie the game. The crowd is tense. Cockeye Allen, the umpire, yells, "Play ball!" There's the pitch. Durocher swings. It looks like a home run, ladies and gentlemen. Leo is rounding first base. He's around second, around third. He's heading for home. The ball is coming in. Leo's going to strike.
You're out! Out! Why, you lardhead, I was safe a mile.
Quiet, you. I'll knock you flatter than your singing voice.
Oh, yeah? Well, I'll slap your head up into a point, and then I'll round it off.
Says who?
Says me.
I'll pull that big tongue of yours out so far you'll think you're wearing a red muffler.
Yeah, you fat as mustache.
Your sister's sideburns.
Your grandmother's goatee.
Your Aunt Van Dyke. I said you're out. The game is over. The Dodgers lose.
Oh, yeah? I'll beat your brains out. Give me that bat.
Oh, thief!
Little Bobby Sock. You.
Put down the bat, Lippy.
But it's only Cockeye Allen, the umpire.
He is also your future father-in-law.
Mystery girl, you mean that...
Cockeye Allen's my old man.
What's the meaning of this, Bobby Sox?
Leo wants to marry me, Cockeye, don't you, Leo?
Me marry an umpire's daughter? They'll throw me out of who's who.
You'll forgive Cockeye, won't you, Lippy?
Well, if you say so, Bobby Sox. Shake hands, Cockeye.
At last an umpire hears a kind word in Brooklyn. I may be an umpire, Leo, but I ain't really a bad guy.
I know, cockeye. But with those thick glasses, how did you ever become an umpire?
I'll tell you the whole sad story, Leo. When I was a lad, I could not see a hand held up in front of me. In spite of how I squint and peer, I couldn't tell my father from my mother, dear. My eyes were oh so very, very weak, but now I am an umpire in the National League.
Your eyes were oh so very, very weak, but now he is an umpire in the National League.
As the years went by, I grew up a schnook. My eyes were so bad I couldn't read a book. The army took me, but they sent me back. I tried to kiss the general because I thought he was a whack. I'm still half blind with no physique. That's why I'm an umpire in the National League.
He's still half blind with no physique. That's why he is an umpire in the National League.
As an umpire, I gained great fame. I called a player out who wasn't in the game. Another decision which you may have heard, I'm the guy who made Greenberg stay on third. My life is a failure, I'm up the creek. That's why I'm an umpire in the National League.
His life is a failure, he's up the creek. That's why he is an umpire in the National League.
And then there's a happy ending, Leo. I give you permission to marry my daughter, Bobby Sox, and the entire ensemble joins in the big finale.
All of Brooklyn feeling blue, 'cause the Durocher's getting wet. To an umpire's daughter who he needs like a hole in the head.
With me as Lizzie's wife for the rest of our life, we can still and cool.
But before you take her hand, you must first understand I'll get no more lip from you. Swear never, no never, what never? Well, hardly ever. My lip I will button up when you say batter up, even though games you will rob. I'll be ever discreet, so tender, so sweet, and soon I'll be out of a job.
So give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for the Dodger captain who was off no more. So give 3 cheers and 1 cheer more for his conclusive Brooklyn in our court.
Attention, please, while Kenny tells us about a lady we all know well.
She is famous everywhere for her beauty, her good taste, her dress, and her home. That's the American woman. She is graceful, witty, wise, and above all, practical. That's the real reason that Mrs. America prefers Tenderleaf T-balls over all other kinds, because they are so practical. The advantages of Tenderleaf T-balls make them first choice of the nation. They're better in every way. Made with famous for flavor Tenderleaf brand tea, assures you cup-quality, delicious flavor. And put up in those individual packets makes it easier, more convenient, more gracious to serve. It adds to your enjoyment of finer tea. The packets are tasteless filter paper, a modern improvement. Your tea is filtered, clear as it's being made. And each Tenderleaf ball means a world of quick comfort when you need it most. Just drop one in a cup, add boiling water, and your tea is made. So for every good reason, ask your grocer for Tenderleaf brand T-balls.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, Leo Durocher, for joining us tonight. Next week, our guest will be Wallace Beery. Good night, and thank you very much.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.